Tato dadarsha bhagavan ashokavanikashrame kshamang svaviraha vyadhing singshapamulamashritam Rama priyatamam bharyam dinang vikshyanvakampata Atma sandarshana ahlada vikasanmukha pankajam. And the first word is tato. So tato. What's the actual ending on the word?
Tataha.
Tataha, yeah. Tataha. And this is a noun. Tad. Now, what is it at the end of it? What's the ending at tataha? Is there a vibhakti or there is something else?
It's not a vibhakti, but
Yeah.
equivalent to Panchami.
Yeah, exactly. So undeclined, it's undeclined, but it's equivalent to the fifth case. Yeah, and it can stand for fifth singular, dual, or plural, any number. So tataha, how do we translate it? If that means
Then
that,
after that.
after that, yes. After that. It can mean from that, it can mean due to that, or after that. So it's narration and there's continuous flow of events, so it's most likely after that. So dadarsha. what is the word?
Tense verb.
It's a verb, past tense, yes. So what's the root? Can you discern it?
Darsh.
Close. It's drish. The root is drish. Okay, and it's a past tense, lit, where the things get reduplicated in that past tense. So that's why we see dadarsha. The first part of the root, the first syllable, da, up to the first vowel, they get reduplicated in front. And this is first person singular. And first person in Sanskrit corresponds to third person in English. Therefore, drish means to see. So drish in the past tense would be he saw. Okay, dadarsha. Then Bhagavan. So it's a noun. Bhagavan. It's a masculine noun. Who can tell me the actual root?
Bhagavat, stem.
Bhagavat. Yes, it's Bhagavat ending in t. And here it's nominative case singular. Bhagavan. First vibhakti. Well, Supreme Lord. Yeah. Lord. So next is so we analyze it usually as there is some noise. Please kindly mute yourself. You can always unmute yourself to ask a question any time of the class, but as a default, let the mute will be the setting of everyone. Okay, so Bhagavan, we analyze it as one who possesses the bhagas, and bhaga refers to assets. There are specific assets that are listed in the Vishnu Purana, which is Aishwarya, or the total control over everything, virya, power, glory, renunciation, beauty. So there are 6 of them. So Bhagavan, in masculine case, it becomes Bhagavan. Okay. Next, Ashoka Vanika Shrame. So this looks like a compound word, a samasa. It's a noun. So ashrame, let's start with ashramam. Ashramaha.
Neuter sound point on.
Is it neuter? Are you sure? Ashrama. Ashramaha. It doesn't show me the gender in this dictionary. I somewhere feel it could be masculine, but anyway, let it be neuter.
It can be both.
It can be both.
Arthur McDonald has given both options.
Okay.
Masculine.
Masculine and feminine. Okay. Let's take masculine then. Yes, 7-1. Ashrame. In an ashrama. And how do we translate ashrama?
Hermitage.
Hermitage. Yeah. Hermitage. It's a place, a kind of an isolated place where usually tapasvis and yogis and rishis, they sit and do their activities and live in peace like that. So vanika, what is vanika? Has anybody looked up in the dictionary? Vanika.
Yes, it's a feminine noun. It means wood, of wood, wooden.
Yeah. I think it refers to a small tree.
Okay.
Vanika, wood, a little wood, yeah. A little wood, yeah. As in Ashoka Vanika, even the dictionary quotes Ashoka Vanika. So yeah, wood, little well, wood in the sense
The forest?
like a grove, you know, grove, little grove. And Ashoka refers to the tree, Ashoka. So hermitage, Ashoka Vanika Ashrama. A hermit in the hermitage. In a hermitage, which was yeah, I still don't sure this a little wood, Ashoka Vanika. Does it refer to the tree or it refers to the wood as in like? But I think if it would refer to the forest, it would have been woods. So I guess it's just it refers to little tree, yeah, Vanika, in the hermitage of little trees, Ashoka trees, of little Ashoka trees, young Ashoka trees, like that. That's right, young. Okay. Kshamam. Kshamam. That's an adjective. And here it is, which gender it is here in Kshamam?
Is feminine.
Feminine, yeah. Now, the case.
2.1. No?
2.1, correct. So, likely an object. And this is Kshamam and means very lean, emaciated, like that. Svaviraha vyadhim. So that's another compound, and it's a noun ultimately. So vyadhi, what is vyadhi?
Disease?
Vyadhi is a disease. Okay, feminine. Vyadhim. Tell me the case and number.
2.1.
1 again. So most likely connected to kshamam. Now vyadhim, disease. Vyadhi. Let's see. Disease. Viraha.
Separation.
Separation. The disease of separation. Separation. And then sva.
Oneself.
Okay. Svaviraha, of separation from oneself. Now, she cannot be, so sva cannot refer to Sita because you can't be separated from yourself, but it refers to Rama. So therefore, sva, you have to be very careful with these words like sva, because they might refer to another person that you might be thinking, contrary to what you might be thinking. So sva could actually point to not exactly to the person who is described by the samasa, Okay, so vyadhim, svaviraha vyadhim. Are we talking about the disease, or we are talking about something else? So most likely it is not the disease. We are talking about somebody who has the disease.
Pain.
Okay, who, let's say, who had the disease of separation from oneself, and oneself would refer to Rama. Okay,
Drama.
Shingshapa Moolam. It's another compound. It's a noun, so neuter, 2-1. So Moola means root of, and Shingshapa is a tree. Let's say Shinsha. Oh, sorry, this is another way of entering. Shimsha. Shimshapa is a tree, and actually it refers to Ashoka tree according to the dictionary. And even you see in the dictionary, even it quotes this Kramam Svaviraha Vyadhim Shingshapa Moolam Astitam. So the dictionary itself quotes our verse from the Bhāgavatam. The only difference here is that instead of Ashritam, they have Asthitam, which is okay, which means the same thing. So root of Shoka tree. Tree. Shingshapa Moolam, and this is 2-1 and can be also 1-1. So let's presume it's 2-1. Means second case singular. Ashritam. What is Ashritam?
Taken shelter.
Shelter.
What kind of word it is? Is it a noun or a verb?
Feminine 2.1.
Feminine, yeah, feminine 2.1. But yeah, well, anyway, it's a participle, okay? Participle. Well, participle, this particular participle is a kind of an adjective, yeah? And ashritam means what? To comes from from the root shri. Sorry, shri with short e, and prefixed by long a. So it's like a plus shri and plus ta. Yeah, and then it becomes feminine after the a gets extended. Anyway, so ashri means to reside or to take shelter. So the participle of that, can you make for me? Ashrita.
Taken shelter.
Taken shelter or sheltered. Sheltered or yeah. Taking shelter. Taking shelter. Ashrita. Ashritam. Okay. Let's
I
yes.
have a question.
Yes.
The text, Devanagari text that I have here, it is written Asthitam.
Yes, yes. That's what we saw in the dictionary also I had here. Asthitam. Well, Asthitam, let's just write it as well. Just wait a
Is
second.
there any difference of meaning or?
Oh, slight. Like asthita comes from astha and means to astha and means to kind of actually the same thing, to resort to. It has a list of all other meanings, but it's kind of to stand, to remain on or by, to occupy, yeah.
Okay.
Be situated. So kind of asthita, like situated. Situated. I can write it even here. stubborn. Okay. Yeah. Asthitam. Situated. Okay. What is the verb? Do we have a verb?
Dadarsha.
Dadarsha. Okay. So verb is the first thing we look for. Dadarsha, what is our karta or the subject? Oh, he is right here. Bhagavan Dadarsha. So
Bhagavan.
Supreme Lord saw. So whom? Object.
Shama. Shamam.
Well, we have everything but the object. We have a whole list of descriptions describing words, adjectives, but there is no object. So therefore, we imply the object. Okay, we can say, and actually, in fact, the commentaries to this verse they do say that the object is kind of implied. See.
Because it's in the next verse, isn't it, Prabhuji?
Yes, yes. She's in the next verse. Well, the Bharya is there. But
Yeah.
the thing is that here, what's happening? Shukadeva, he's just summarizing the Leela to Parikshit. He is not really delving into the details. So therefore, both of them know whom Rama saw. So they just, it's a shortcut. They don't explicitly spell it out. So they saw Sita, and that's what we put. And then the Sita who is implied by everything else. Yeah, she's described as lean, emaciated, and she was what else? She was tormented. You can have.
Viraha Vyadhi.
Yeah, by the disease of separation from oneself, referring to Rama. And she was Ashritam, taking shelter. And where do I connect this Shingshapamulam? Well, I connected to Ashritam. So it's an object actually of Ashrita, because Ashrita is a participle and it's like a verb. So Sita was taking shelter of the root of a Ashoka tree, let's say at the root. Now, it's not location here. There's no saptami. It's not mule, it's mulam, because it is an object. So you can color it. Yeah, so therefore it takes second case. And then Ashoka Vanikashrame, where do I connect that? In the hermitage of young trees, of young Ashoka trees. Well, I connected to the main verb because it naturally goes there even with Dadarsha. The Supreme Lord saw in the hermitage of young trees, he saw Sita. So it's the location of his seeing. Yeah. And Tataha after that he saw. Okay, so we connected to the verb after what has happened in the previous verse. Then let's go quickly into the next verse, and we see here Ramaha. Okay. Well, that is easy. Masculine 1-1. Rama. Then Priyatamam.
Noun feminine 2-1.
2-1, yes. 2-1. And
It's
the meaning of it?
Superlative, right?
Yes. It's superlative. So most beloved. Okay. Not that he had a few beloved, which he didn't, but just to emphasize the fact that she was just extremely close and dear to him.
Very dear.
Priyatamam. So this suffix tama, basically, it can be applied onto any adjective to make it superlative. Like here, priyatama. It just means priya, but priyatama means most. And there is another one, tara, which is kind of a comparative, like better than. So first comes tara, better than, priyatara, more beloved, and then priyatama, most beloved. Bharyam, noun, feminine.
Same. Non-feminine. 2-1.
2-1, yeah. So this means wife. So his wife. So, dinam, another adjective. How do we translate dinam?
Poor.
Poor, yeah. Poor, not always in the sense of wealth, but in condition, you know, or you can say wretched or miserable or pitiable, or, you know, any kind of opposite to happy. Anything opposite to happy would be dinam, like sad, dejected. Let's say, how do we say? What did I say? Oh,
The poor condition.
pitiable, yeah. Like that. Next, vikshyan vakampata. So what is happening
Vikshya
here?
plus Anvakampata. Vikshya plus Anvakampata.
Is it a compound?
It's a sandhi.
It's just a sandhi, yeah. It's just a sandhi of vikshya. So vikshya, what kind of word it is?
It's a verb.
I'm sorry.
But gerund.
Gerund, yes, it's a gerund. So gerund. And the verb is, the prefix is v, and the verb is iksh, to see. So vikshya. So as a gerund, how do we translate it?
Seeing, having seen.
So,
Yes, seeing or having seen. Vikshya. So it will be a subordinate kriya. Having seen. Okay, and the next word is anvakampata. And what is anvakampata? Well, is it a noun? Yes or no? No, it's not a noun.
no.
It's a verb. So verb. What kind of verb? What's the root? What's the dhatu?
Come.
Yes, kamp. And the prefix is anu. Anu plus kamp. And this is past tense. Past tense. And it's a regular past tense, what we call lung. And what's the meaning of kamp? Well, one meaning is to tremble. Okay, to shiver, to tremble.
Yeah. That is the meaning which I am aware of.
And then anu and kamp. We have a famous word, anukampa. Anukampa means
Compassion.
anukampa means like compassion. Yeah, exactly. So anvakampata is a past tense. So how do we translate it? To feel compassion in the past. Felt compassion.
Yeah.
Because this is first person singular.
Kampa is shivering, right?
Yes. But with the prefix anu, as usual for the verbs, they often manifest their hidden meanings. So anukamp means to feel compassion. Anukamp, anukamp. So to take pity or compassion on, sympathize with. Okay, anukamp. Like you, there is some noise. Excuse me. Could you kindly mute yourself because it's quite loud. Yeah. So yeah, it's an interesting word because like anu means to follow suit. So like something is trembling or someone is trembling, so you tremble along. So it's kind of figurative. Like if someone is trembling in sense of experiencing some misery, then you kind of experience it along with them, and that manifests as compassion. Like you feel for others, feel for how they
Empathizing.
yeah, empathize. Yeah, that's a good word. Yeah, so exactly what this is what it means. So felt compassion, and this would be a proper verb. And next is a long samasa. Atma sandarshana ahlada vikasan mukha pankajam. So that's it's altogether it's a noun. And so let's start pankajam. So what's the gender? We know pankaja means lotus, but this is pankajam.
Feminine,
It's a feminine.
feminine 2.1.
2.1.
2.1.
So now the problem is pankaja is not a feminine word. So what's wrong here?
It's a neuter.
It's referring to a feminine, that's why?
Yes,
Bahuvri
yes,
samasa
exactly.
for the-
Exactly. That's the sign. Whenever you see the gender which doesn't tie together with the original gender of a word, which is seemingly a mistake. Yeah, but it's not a mistake. It's because it's a bahuvrihi samasa, and it refers to somebody outside of the samasa, so to say. Bahuvrihi. So somebody had a lotus, okay? What kind of lotus? Mukha. Mukha pankajam. So that's translated as, so first of all, mukha. What is mukha?
Means mouth.
Face or
Face.
mouth?
Face.
Face or mouth, okay? So here it will be mouth, and pankajam means like lotus. So the lotus of the mouth, in other words, lotus-like, okay? Okay? Or literally, lotus of the mouth, you know, it's poetic expression. Vikasan, what is vikasan?
It's blooming.
Because it's actually vikasat, yes. Vikasat, and it becomes vikasan. Why does it become vikasan? What's the rule?
When a Harivenu comes.
Yes. When a harivenu or a nasal consonant follows t or d, they turn into n, yeah. So vikasat, what is vikasat?
It's like blooming.
Blooming, yeah. So it is actually a present participle, yeah. And the verb is kas, vikas, like vikas, to open or expand, okay. This is the primary meaning of this. So opening, expanding, okay. Blooming. So the lotus of her mouth, and this is who is actually described by the samasa. Blooming, meaning that, what does it mean? That she was smiling, actually. So it's just a poetic way. So next word is ahlada, yeah? Ahlada. What is ahlada? Anybody?
Joyful.
Blissful, joyful.
I couldn't hear. Excuse me.
Blissful, joyful, happy.
Okay. Yes. But well, that is all adjectives. The way you are telling me. But what is actually ahlada? Is it an
Giving
adjective?
happiness.
It is a noun actually here. Yeah, it's a noun. Happiness. Okay. And then sandarshana. Sandarshana means
By seeing.
it's coming from darshana basically. And darshana means vision. Okay. So sandarshana, like complete vision. Okay. Complete vision. And atma. What is atma? Atma can mean a whole number of things.
Oneself.
Yes, exactly. Here, atma is
Beloved.
that kind of a pronominal sense, like a pronoun.
Oneself.
Oneself. Okay. Atma as a noun, it can mean, you know, a self or soul or mind or even body, but it can also have that reflective sense of a pronoun, like oneself. Like if you say atma raksha, okay, raksha means protection, atma means oneself, like protection of oneself. So here we have a samasa. Lotus, it's an object. So he saw a lotus of her mouth blooming and happiness. What's the connection between blooming and happiness?
Happiness is blooming.
When one is
Blooming
happy,
also
then
happening.
that person blooms.
Due to
Because of-
happiness.
Due to happiness.
Yeah, there's a causal relationship. Due to happiness, and then what about complete vision? How we connect it to happiness? Of. The happiness of. Complete vision of oneself. You see, when you read the samasa, you see all the vibhaktis. They are actually there. They are not shown by the endings because each word inside the samasa cannot have endings in 95% of the cases. There are some exceptions, but the meanings, nevertheless, of the vibhaktis, they are present there. So that's why I was asking, like, what's the relationship? What's the relationship? So we have here
So
due
it
to
could be,
that, yeah.
It could be any vibhakti, right?
Any, yeah. It could be any. There are some, although there are some rules, there are some exceptions. Some vibhaktis cannot be there, or some meanings of some vibhaktis cannot be reflected inside the samasa. But in general, it's good to kind of see which exact vibhakti and which meaning you know, is hiding there. It's a nice exercise. Also, if we are learning about the you know, these vibhakti meanings, it's good to just see. So here we see pankajam, mukha pankajam. That's lots of mukhasya pankajam. Okay, then vikasat, that's just like an adjective. Okay, then ahladena. Okay, there is a tritiya here. Then darshana, sandarshana, that is a shashti there. Darshanasya ahlada, the happiness of complete vision. There is a sambandha. Okay, sixth case. And then again, sandarshana of oneself, vision of oneself. There is another shashti here, but we don't see all that. All right, so the second verse is, we did the synonyms, and anvakampata is the main verb. So who is the doer? Rama, yeah? And the object, tell me the object.
That whole samasa. Atma
Well,
sandarsha alada vikasat mukha pankajam.
well, there is something more direct here.
Bharyam.
Bharyam, yeah.
Priyatamam bharyam.
particularly Bharyam.
Bharya.
Yeah, and she is described as Priyatama and as Mukha Pankaja, who she was smiling at seeing Rama. So yeah, these are the adjectives. One second, sorry. I'm sorry. So Rama felt compassion, but you know, feel compassion, it's a it's an intransitive verb. It can't take objects. I'm sorry. He felt compassion. You cannot feel compassion someone, you know. Some verbs, they just don't take objects. Akarmaka, they're called akarmaka dhatus in Sanskrit. In English, they're also verbs like that. So like you like to exist, for example. You exist. Okay, I say you exist. Can this verb take an object? You is a subject. You are the doer of the existence. You are the agent of existence. You cannot exist someone. So this is called intransitive verb in English. And in Sanskrit, similarly, there are such verbs. And to feel compassion is one of them. Now, where do we connect Bharya then as an object?
Vikshya.
Vikshya, yes, exactly. Gerund. Gerund is, even though it's not a main verb, it is considered a verb. It is a kriya, it is an action. And Vikshya in its turn is connected to feeling compassion. So Rama felt compassion having seen his wife who was pitiable or, you know, sad, his most beloved wife, and who was, you know, the lotus of whose mouth was blooming due to happiness of complete vision of oneself, referring to Rama. Okay. So this is the second sentence. Second verse. All right. So let's zoom out a little. Okay. Any questions? Any observations? Well, yeah, everything seems to be clear. So let's see. I see a couple of new participants. Do you want to ask something or share something? Okay, then if we don't have anything, then yeah, we can close today's session, and maybe I can request the new members to stay for a few more minutes so I can just touch base with you.
Okay.
Yeah, so thank you everyone for attending, and see you tomorrow as usual.
Thank you.
Thank
Yeah.
you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Namaskara. Hare Krishna. So yeah, I see there is a Gunaraja and Kendrick
Yes.
and
Can you?
Anushka.
Yes. Can you hear me?
Hari bol.
Yes, I can hear you. Yeah, I can hear you. So what do you think of the classes? That we have such sessions every day, 5 days a week, where we analyze the verses. Initially, we go word for word, looking at the grammar, like what kind of case, what verb, what's the root, kind of derivation. And then we put all the words together in a sentence, like what we connect, we find the connection, how they are all interrelated. And in this way we assemble the verse, we find out the meaning, instead of just being guided by feel or intuition. We are trying to develop the accuracy with the help of grammar. And so these are kind of practical sessions where we apply everything we are learning. And have any one of you had a chance to explore the members section in the website?
Yes, I did look around. Because I'm very new to this, do you have access to the previous recordings that maybe break down some of the fundamentals?
Sure. All the recordings are on my Sanskrit Sense channel on YouTube.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, we started about a month ago, and yeah, they are all there. And the thing is, here, people join here from any level of, familiarity with Sanskrit, starting from zero, and some participants are already intermediate learners. The thing is that from any level you can benefit from these sessions, because I have uploaded on my website some reference materials. If you go into the member zone, there is reference materials, and there you find all the useful, like noun tables, the case meanings. Then what else I have? I have about Sanskrit sentence, adjectives, like how to find these words, how to tie them together. So the system is like that. You can study every day, at least minimum, like for 10 minutes, you can go through any of the materials. Just learn like a set of endings, or learn a few meanings of few nominal cases, like that. And then you come to this reading room, and you just listen to, just see what we are doing, just try to catch everything, like kind of on the go. And gradually, with time, what happens, things slowly start making sense. Especially if you give a minimal time every day to just explore my reference materials on your own. Then each time you come, you kind of know a little bit more. The next day you come, you know a little bit more, and then gradually you start noticing things. You start getting used to things, because it's like that. Some things they are used more than the others. Some usages are more frequent than the other things. So you get used to Sanskrit. You get used to see things, recognize things. What is a verb? What is a noun? And with time, you kind of develop that sense, the Sanskrit sense. And yeah, you kind of start understanding and starting being able to translate things on your own. So that's kind of the ultimate goal of this, and it comes just by practice. It might be a little bit overwhelming, because initially there are too many things to know, but I'll tell you, when I started studying Sanskrit, I joined the similar classes from the very beginning, and I just continued, and I just was taking notes of everything I saw, and gradually things started sorting out in my head, and yeah, fell into place with time. So that's the process. It's kind of from the day one, a person is used to the actual Sanskrit language, instead of like made up sentences in manuals and textbooks. You directly see the way the shlokas and the verses are composed in the scriptures, right from the first day.
Very nice.
And it's actually good. I can repeat myself that it can be a bit overwhelming, but that can be like maybe for a week, because within 10 days or 2 weeks already you will start feeling you will get your bearings, and you will start feeling that you already know something. So these are the
Yes.
sessions. So
Thank you
welcome.
so much.
Y-
It's been, I have to tell you, I've been learning some prayers from another school, but your course on Udemy really, really helped me.
Oh, it's a pleasure to hear. Thank you. Yeah.
Hare Krishna.
Yes, yes, please. Hare Krishna.
Thank you for the session. Actually, I've got two questions. First of all, I'd like to know what's the exact timing that you start up the class, because
Oh, yeah, we start at 6 p.m. Indian Standard Time.
okay, thank you. And another question is that how did Viksat come during the segregation of the shloka? In the shloka, it was Viksan. So, what is the logic that when you segregated the shloka, Viksat come? So, could you please cite the reason for it?
Segregate using what? Vix?
Viksan. In the shloka, it was Viksan, Mukha Pankajam.
Oh, Vikasan. Oh, Vikasan.
Vikasan.
Oh, you
Yeah.
have a question about that. So
Yeah.
Vikasan, we wrote that it's a present participle. You see, participles, they are kind of words that are made of verbs, but they are describing, like a blooming. You can say
Yeah.
like a blooming flower or blooming lotus.
Okay.
So it's a kind of a word that it's a descriptive word, but it's kind of it contains some action within it.
Mm-hmm.
And because it's made of verb, that's the root reason. So then we found out that it made of the root vikas. Okay, and vikas means to bloom.
Okay.
And then we look at the ending, and it's vikasat.
Mm-hmm.
And vikasat is a type of ending that makes present participles out of verbs. So therefore we translated it as blooming, like now blooming, at present.
Okay. Okay. Thank you for the explanation.
Yeah. I don't have yet the reference material for the participles, but I keep on developing all these reference materials, and I will be announcing each time I publish something new. But there is already quite some material that you all can take advantage of. And
In the member zone.
yes, in the member zone you
Okay.
go, and
Okay.
yeah, and please spend like 10 minutes a day learning something new, and then come every day, and then you will feel that whatever you are learning, you will be able to witness it and see it applied, I'm sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm. Okay, then any other questions or comments or observations or anything?
I have one question.
Yes, please. Yeah.
And this reference material documents, is there any sequence we have to go through, or any document you can?
Well, for time being, there is no. Maybe sometime later on, I will organize them into some kind of a sequential material. But for now, you can just take any and like take each document per day.
Okay.
And yeah, I wrote them in such a way that you can actually access any reference material regardless of what you knew before. So in that sense, you can just pick any and just start studying, memorizing, whatever. Yeah, use any of them.
Okay. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. All right, then. See you all tomorrow at the same time. Thank you for attending once more.
Thank you.
Shri Ramachandro Vijayate. Srimad Bhāgavatam ki jai. Namo Namaha. Thank you all.